I'm gonna say, oh man, welcome, everybody. I just want to thank you so much for being here today during your lunch hour. And I'm really excited about this class because many of us are doing so many things today. You know, we're kind of coming off this season where we've been in, we're trying to catch up on a lot of things. We're trying to take care of other people and we're doing it. And what it looks like is we're kind of running ourselves down. We forget to take care of ourselves. So today we're going to just talk about some simple things that you can do to stay balanced by understanding a key system that controls so much of our body, the endocrine system. And I promise you, I won't get too technical, okay? But honestly, you're going to discover that you might have more energy, you might be feeling better, and you just might be getting more things done as we show you some ways that you can adjust your daily routine. At the end, I've got just a special offer for you that you'll be able to do that will help you change your life in our community. So I'm pretty excited. Thank you for being with us. Again, I'm Dr. Nozella, Doctor of Education, and very passionate about empowering others to achieve the quality of life that they desire. Professionally, I'm the Director Emeritus of a University Urban Extension Office, where I manage 2 federal nutrition programs for underserved audiences. I taught for over 15 years in the schools as a nutrition educator. I'm a professor, a writer, a speaker, a researcher, and a consultant. And like many people, I really struggle to live a very balanced life. One thing I've learned is I've got to be very intentional, even protective about taking care of myself, especially during this time. I have to invest in myself because I believe my body's a temple of God. And I believe I have to be proactive to support that body because I believe it was designed to heal itself. You see, I have struggled with my health as long as I can remember. As a child, I didn't have the energy that most children had. I would have those fainting spells for no apparent reason. My mother would take me to doctors and they told her there was nothing clinically wrong with me. It was all in my head. About 45 years ago, the first year of my marriage, I was so overcome with fatigue, had no energy that I could sleep 10 or 11 hours. And I felt like I had been fighting all night and I still didn't have any energy, even to fix dinner. My friends were bringing dinner over to kind of help me out. And I'll never forget a friend recommended that I see her quote, naturopath doctor, which back then was considered to be quackery. I had studied nutrition in college and I was taught that these were not really legit doctors, but nothing else was helping me. And so what did I have to lose? I went and met with this doctor. He did a simple blood test. And what's interesting is instead of giving me meds, he gave me a diet and told me something that was really going to change my life. He said, if you don't make some lifestyle changes now, you will have diabetes, possibly high blood pressure, and all other kind of problems by the time you're 30. He gave me that diet, scheduled a follow-up. It was really a wake-up call for me and the beginning of my health journey. I began to remove some foods like sugar and processed foods from my diet. I added in some whole grains, some fruits and vegetables. And it was a lot easier to do because I was in a college town. Those things were available. They were easy to get to. They were affordable. And then we moved back to the city. I slowly regressed to the sad standard American diet, and I was surrounded by a lot of environmental pollutants. And soon I found myself below the wellness line again with all kinds of issues, including the fatigue, digestion, and respiratory issues. A friend came over one time and she suggested that I try some Young Living essential oils. What did I have to lose? But she was rubbing those things on my feet and I kind of thought it was weird, but you know what? I could breathe better and I started feeling a lot better. And so I bought me some of those and I used them until I used them all up. But then I thought they were kind of expensive. So I thought I'd try some cheaper things and I didn't want to have to do it, by ordering and all that kind of stuff. And what I found out was nothing was working as well as what I had used with her. And later I was going to learn about the difference about Young Living products. And I'll talk to you about that a little later. Anyway, I am so excited to say that my last doctor's appointment, she said, you have made my day. She said, "You're the healthiest patient I've seen all day." She said, "My labs were great. I have no diabetes now. I have no heart disease now." And she actually removed asthma from my diet and told me to continue to do what I was doing. I give God all the glory, but I'm really excited to share some of the things that I've been doing, some of the research we've found. We're all different, but the more we know, the more control we can take of our health, and the more we can all enjoy a more vibrant health. And that's really what I want for you. First of all, though, what I'm sharing with you today is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. It is for educational purposes only. I am a doctor of education. I do research, consulting, and I'm very, very passionate about giving you information and resources that are going to empower you to make the best decisions for your health. So let's get started. What is this endocrine system? Okay. In its most technical terms, this system consists of the pituitary, the thyroid, the adrenal glands, your reproductive glands, your ovaries, your uterus, your testes, the pineal, the parathyroid, and the thymus. This system regulates growth, development, metabolism, reproduction, sexual function, tissue function, sleep, and mood, among other things. It is a very, very important system. An imbalance in the system can result in fatigue, in migraines, in moodiness, in weight and appetite changes, in digestive problems, in lackluster libido, in menstrual changes, and infertility. There could be temperature sensitivity, insomnia, and skin and hair changes. So it's really, really important to support this system to stay above the wellness line. So let's talk about some lifestyle habits that you might consider to support this system and to stay well, to boost your energy, to stabilize your emotions, and reduce your stress. First of all, I want to talk about endocrine disruptors. And the general rule is remove things that are destructive and replace it with things that are going to really help you. And these endocrine disruptors are things that most people are not aware of, and they're sabotaging their health. Endocrine disruptors are chemicals that can interfere with that endocrine system. These disruptors can cause cancerous tumors, birth defects, other developmental disorders. And what happens is they accumulate in our body over time. So the older we get, our toxic load is greater, and we are more prone to have more health problems unless we're actively avoiding these toxic chemicals and detoxing regularly. According to WebMD, endocrine disruptors can be natural or manufactured chemicals. They usually enter the body through inhaling, in our food, or by direct contact. And they generally fall into these categories. So you can find them in industrial things. Those are chemicals that have been manufactured. Agriculture has it. A lot of these disruptors are in your food, the way it's processed, the way it's grown. In residential areas, many of your building materials, your furniture may have these endocrine disruptors. Pharmaceuticals, many drugs have these endocrine disruptors. Heavy metals, well, many of these are used in personal care products like aluminum. And as you can see, we probably are constantly being exposed to these disruptors. I do want to share just a few examples because you really want to start looking at labels of things. These are kind of some technical terms, and I may not get the words right, but there they are on the screen. You'll see bisphenol or BPA. Many of your food storage containers contain this, especially those plastic water bottles. Okay, the softer the plastic, the more it's more likely to have the BPA that gets into your water. Those little particles get into your system. They are just starting to get research that's showing these particles showing up in people's bloodstream. So be careful of that. Dioxins, many of your manufacturing processes create dioxins. They spread when certain things are burned, okay? So that causes problems. And then we have the PFAs. These substances are used in many of your nonstick coatings. So that's why we discourage people from using nonstick cookware. And then phthalates, another thing that's in your plastics. People, they are really abundant, and you really want to avoid the phthalates. And then the PCBs are found in many products that are around the home, including transformers. Many lubricants have PCBs. And then triclosan is something you really want to watch for. It's in soap and many hand sanitizers. The hand sanitizers that say antibacterial have triclosan in it, and this chemical is still present in so many products and so dangerous for health. So these are just a few of the endocrine disruptors that you want to start looking for and just remove them, okay? Now, you want to start replacing it with some very good habits. And so there are several things that you can do to kind of reduce your toxic load and keep your health above that wellness line. Of course, drink lots of pure water. Remember, not all the plastic bottles that contain the BPA, and the softer the bottle, the more likely that it's going to have the BPAs in it. So really don't do that. A switch from using plastic as much as you can. Switch to glass, enamel stoneware, or stainless steel. Try to remove the plastics as much as possible. Try to eat only organic grass-fed meats. They won't have hormones and things pumped into them, and you won't be adding to your toxic load. Try to avoid dairy products unless they're organic. Again, you want to avoid getting hormones, endocrine disruptors into your system. And then try to eat fats such as the cold-pressed olive or coconut oil. Again, if you're doing butter, try to get the grass-fed butter. You're trying to avoid endocrine disruptors as much as possible with these foods. And then really eliminate hydrogenized fats. We know that hydrogenated fats have been cancer-causing for over 30 years. And those are also your vegetable oils and much of your margarine. So you want to eliminate that as much as possible and try to choose non-GMO foods as much as possible. And then of course, exercise. There's no way of getting around. Just moving really helps get your body moving, and it also helps with removing waste from your body as well. Now, of course, we all know good nutrition is a key to good health. The endocrine system needs a diet that's rich in antioxidants, and that's going to be key. You want antioxidants, you want fiber, and you want healthy fats, and you want them to work together. Dr. Richard Coulter of the National Institutes of Health says that the amount of antioxidants that you maintain in your body is directly proportional to how long you live. So the amount of antioxidants that you maintain in your body is directly proportional to how long you live. So a simple tip is just to eat the rainbow. And try to eat foods as close to their original state as possible. Some people say if your great-great-grandmother didn't eat it, don't eat it now, okay? But variety really is important because when you eat a variety of colors, a variety of foods, you're getting a variety of nutrients, all of which your body needs. I like the suggestion from Dr. Furman, who says eat the G-bombs, okay? Eat your greens, eat your beans, eat your onions, eat your mushrooms, eat your berries, eat your seeds. All of those are a wonderful way for you to get that great nutrition in. Unfortunately, the bad news is, and experts agree, most of us don't get the nutrition we need because of the poor quality of food that we consume, and that's available. And also our modern agricultural practices don't produce nutrient-dense foods like they did years before. So I want to be upfront with you. I'm going to be sharing some lifestyle tips and some of the suggestions for some supplements that are going to be important because we're realizing that everyone needs to supplement their diet, okay? Doesn't take the place, but you do need to supplement. And as I mentioned earlier, I use Young Living because I could trust them. They've been around for 28 years. They are a legacy company, the founder of the modern essential oils movement. And as a premier company, they set the standard for essential oils and for essential oil infused supplements across the continent. Many companies don't take the extra steps to ensure that they are providing the top of the line product that really works, as Young Living does. I really like the way that they have been very, very careful in their research to make sure that we're getting the purest oils. They take such a pride in doing that. And they guarantee all the way from the seed that's planted to the bottle that's sealed. They call that seed to seal. And there's a commitment because they have this rigid standards that they start with the source of the seed until it gets to you, the consumer. And I really suggest you check out the strict guidelines that they use. But let me just tell you a few things. The plant material they use is grown on corporately owned farms, carefully vetted partner farms that you can really visit all of them. They use sustainable farming and sourcing practices so they can provide the purest oil. And they take great care to preserve and protect natural resources. So when they're cutting trees, they plant trees to replace them. They hand weed their fields, and they use zero use of pesticides. So you're not going to get endocrine disruptors. The oils that are retain all of their natural constituents and beneficial properties. The way that they distill everything, and the heat that they use is in such a way that you're getting the maximum amount of properties from that oil. They use a food grade distiller with state-of-the-art designs and distillation methods. A very low pressure, low temperature distillation. It might take longer, but they don't want to use any solvents, and they don't use any synthetic chemicals. And they use a very rigorous testing on each batch by their labs, but they also have many third-party facilities that also test. And then their oils are carefully reviewed every step of the way so that if something isn't up to their standards, it is rejected. And that's what I appreciate. If it's not up to their standards, they would rather be out of an oil than to give you something that is inferior. And I appreciate that. So I just want you to be aware of that. Now let's talk just so quickly about safety and the usage of things. If you're doing supplements, always follow the directions of the individual supplement packet, okay, so that you know what's proper and how to use it. If you're pregnant and nursing, be very careful what they say about restrictions for you. And when you're using oils, essential oils, when you're in doubt, always dilute it with a carrier oil like our V6 or like a coconut oil or olive oil. Never put them in your eyes or your ears. If you do, you get accidentally, that happens, always use an oil, not water, to kind of alleviate some of the burning that may take place. And always start with a very small amount. You'll only need like to start with a drop sometimes and then add a couple. Don't start with it off a lot. And keep in mind, there's 3 ways you can use essential oils. This is the blessing of them. You can use them topically on top of your skin. You can use them aromatically with a diffuser, or just doing a little in your hand and just inhaling and breathing works really well. Or you can use certain oils that are labeled internally. And we have the Vitality line that allows you to use them internally. If they have a white label, then that means they're Vitality, they can be ingested. The solid label oil, if it's a white label and a solid label of the same oil, it's actually the same oil inside the bottle, but we always want you to know which ones can be ingested, because if they can be ingested, you can also put them in a vegetable capsule and take them internally like that. So that makes them pretty easy for people to use. I just want to tell you, when I started looking at my studies about 30 years ago, when I was in school, they really believed that you could get everything you needed, nutrients for your body, from the food that you ate. And now the experts, the research is showing it's just not possible, as I mentioned before, because of the quality of the food that we have today, because of the agricultural properties. We just cannot do that. Therefore, everyone really needs to supplement their diet. But the key is to make sure that you're getting the highest quality supplement, which is plant-based, free of any additives or any toxins or any synthetic chemicals, okay? And I'm just going to share with you a few of my favorites. You can choose what's best for you, keeping those standards in mind. My all-time favorite has got to be Ningxia Red, okay? Mainly because it's the best antioxidant drink ever, okay? You just need 2 to 4 ounces a day to support your eye health, your normal cellular digestion, your memory and brain function. Clinically, it's been shown to increase the immune and respiratory function, energy levels, improve increased sleep, It reduces physical limitations, inflammation, stress, and improves mental well-being. And it just really lessens the free radicals and oxidative stress. Besides that, it's caffeine free, even though you're getting all this energy with it. And what I like is there's exactly 17 species of wolfberry, but only this Ningxia red wolfberry has a complete phytonutrient profile. It's higher in vitamin C than oranges. It's higher in calcium than cauliflower. It's higher in beta carotene than carrots. It's also higher in vitamin E, which plays an important role in the health and maintenance of your reproductive system. It really helps you thrive. It's really high in protein. It has amino acids, which are important for healthy hormonal production and function. It's got 21 trace minerals, important for every system of the body. Okay, it has 6 essential fatty acids, which we talked about are important. And it's just loaded with the naturally occurring B vitamins, B1, B2, B6. And it's just a really dense nutrition. And it's so wonderful because we're just not getting that nutrition now. And another thing that really sets it apart is that it's infused with essential oils, and the essential oils help it to easily absorb it and assimilate in your system. And then it also just has some real high quality juices like blueberry, pomegranate, plum, cherry, that are included in it, not those cheap greens. So I just really love it. It's the one when I have nothing else and I need energy and I can't eat, that I go to my Ningxia red. The other thing that I'm really excited about, because we talked about how important it is to get greens, is the Ningxia greens, okay? It supports the immune system, the microbiome, it boosts energy. It is packed full of antioxidants with phytonutrients. It's got some prebiotics in it. It's got your omega-3s in it. It's got 50 fermented whole foods and 60 plus nutrient-rich veggies, fruits, herbs, algae, and mushrooms. We talked about all that in there. And so it's just such another easy way to supplement, to get those greens in. And then, of course, the master formula is my one a day. It's an excellent source of nutrition as it's a supplement that kind of provides the core building blocks for the proper function of all your body systems, but it also has vitamins, probiotics, minerals, and omega fatty acids in it. It's just a full spectrum supplement that provides you with the vitamins and minerals that help support your bone density health, your brain health, your cellular protection, your digestive health, your energy levels, your eye health, your heart, your immune, your skin. And it's unique because it's delivered in 3 ways. We know that we can't put all of that into one little capsule. So it's in three ways it's delivered that synergistically allows it to be to support your digestive health and to help neutralize the free radicals in the body. And it really also, as I mentioned before, provides that gut flora that really supports your prebiotics. There's a liquid capsule that will have your essential oils and your turmeric in it. There's a nutrient capsule that contains zinc, biotin, magnesium, selenium, and manganese. And then there's a photonutrient capsule that contains choline in it, potassium, and calcium. And it's just in a little packet. You just take one a day. It's just so simple and so easy to do. And then finally, I want to just mention the sulfurzyme because it supports immune, circulatory, digestion, your liver, mobility, hair, skin, nails, scavenges free radicals. It maintains the structure of the proteins. It protects your cells, your cellular membranes, and it really replenishes the connections between your cells, which helps to preserve your connective tissue and supports assimilation and metabolism. And it contains like this unique blend of Ningxia wolfberry in a powder with MSM, which is a dietary sulfur that bolsters the joints, aids the immune system, and helps support normal metabolic function, circulation, bone, hair, and skin health. It can really even help support your joints while you're doing exercise. So just overall, it's amazing. Any one of these by themselves would be just amazing for you to begin with or start with, I have found. or together. We'll talk about a way you can do that a little bit later. But I did want to mention that you can also use essential oils. And so I'm just going to mention a few here that there's been a little bit in the research literature that's showing up with these, and people are beginning to share a lot about them. And one of them is Endoflex. Endoflex helps you to keep up with your overall wellness and day-to-day schedule, because in addition to adding spearmint, it also has a little sage, geranium, it has myrtle, nutmeg, has some German chamomile in it. So it really has this unique blend that really will support a healthy lifestyle. And you can just add it really quickly because you just put like a little drop in your tea or in your water. Some people like to put it in a capsule, or you can kind of rub it on your tummy. If you do that, you may want to at first use a little carrier oil in doing that. Another really popular oil is nutmeg. I know many of you probably have heard of that. It's a native of Indonesia, and nutmeg is an evergreen tree that's cultivated. It has really two spices, depending on where what part of the tree you use. There's a nutmeg that comes from the seed, and then there's mace that comes from the seed covering. Nutmeg has been, used for centuries and centuries in cooking, and because it has that warm, that spicy aroma, but it's also very energizing and it's uplifting, and it has antioxidants in it. So it's been known to support cognitive function and the immune system, and offers kind of some cleansing properties when taken as a dietary supplement. And it comes either as your vitality or as your regular in oil. Another popular one that comes up for supporting the endocrine system is myrtle. And it comes from the Mediterranean area as well. And it just has a real fresh, invigorating aroma, similar to eucalyptus. Some people prefer it over eucalyptus. It's a little milder in its use. Another one that's really, really popular is lemongrass. Comes from the kind of that flowering grasses, and it's originally from India or Guatemala. But it has a fresh aroma that kind of neutralizes odors. It's really an excellent addition when you're talking about some of your home cleaning solutions that you want to work with. But also it helps to clean the skin. It has a kind of a citrusy, I would say, flavor, but it really helps provide some circulatory and digestive support when you use it internally. And then, of course, an all-time popular one is the frankincense, because it's so grounding, and it's used for meditation as well as just helping to balance your body. It promotes like an appearance of healthy skin. It really kind of helps just an overall wellness. And of course, we remember how it was used in the Bible days with Christ at his birth. It's mentioned in a lot of the older ancient Egyptian scrolls that talk about medicine for the many properties that it has. And so it comes up oftentimes a lot when people are talking about overall health and ways to use it. I did want to share just a couple of recipes with you, and you can kind of take a picture of these recipes. A couple of these, one supports the thyroid, and they're using Endoflex and myrtle and lemongrass. And another is what they call a stress booster, uses the Endoflex, the myrtle, and the frankincense. This can be mixed up, and you can just either put them in a little bottle and kind of apply it to your throat, or you can just kind of rub it on. It's very versatile in the way that you use it. And so just a couple of things I wanted to share with you there. I also just want to share just a couple of testimonies before we close out. Rick wanted to share how he used Ningxia and how he used sulfurzyme to really help him with his respiratory issues. He said in when he wrote in about how these had helped him, he said, I use RC, Breathe Again, Roll On, and Thieves oil blends. And also included, he uses a lemongrass and peppermint. And he kind of swipes these oils on his temples or on the side of his nose, around the back of the ear, back of his neck. And he also really likes to put these oils on the bottom of his feet. Okay, of course, he's careful not to get anything in his eyes. But he said what he did, he had started to have these respiratory issues before he was introduced, to the oils and to Ningxia Red. And so he went in and he looked at his furnace and he took out the furnace air filter and he replaced it with an all natural cotton filter. And then he just lightly sprayed on it some of the Thieves household cleaner, and he sprinkled some of the oils that he was using that we just talked about, like the lemongrass and the peppermint. And he sprinkled like those onto the filter. And he said after a week, he noticed he could breathe easier. He was not having the struggle in his house. And it helped his house to really smell pretty good. And again, he's recognizing that there are some environmental things going on in his home, and he can do something about that so that he doesn't, sabotage his respiratory health. Now, when we look at Kathy's testimony, she was talking about how she had bladder control problems that were really, really very annoying to her. She often said she had frequent incidents where she had to go to the bathroom, didn't quite make it in time, can be super, super embarrassing. So she just ordered the Endoflex and she ordered some Copaiba. And when she would go to the bathroom, then she would just kind of rub a few drops on her bladder just when she got done. And she did notice that it really helped if she used a carrier oil at first, because the Endoflex would kind of tingle, kind of like pepper would do. And but she just started doing that. And interesting enough, she said it didn't take very long, but she realized that once she had started doing that, her issues with her bladder became fewer and fewer. And till the point that she almost doesn't have that at all. So she was really excited just to get that one little blend there and see how it could really help her with that particular issue. Remember that endocrine system affects so many different aspects of our body, and everybody's different. Before we go, I want to share with you how you can see how this can really help you. We have a 14-day challenge that you can do. And I like to call it the challenge that provides adrenal love and hormonal support because it does nurture your endocrine system with just 3 products. You can use the sulfurzyme, the Endoflex, and the nutmeg. It's real easy to do each day. You're just going to take 3 capsules of the sulfurzyme in the morning and in the evening, and you apply just a drop of the nutmeg and the Endoflex on your adrenals, and that's kind of on the side and the back, okay, in the center. Do it in the morning, and it's just real easy peasy. And this challenge, you can actually join this challenge in the Facebook group. Is there Endoflex Challenge Facebook group that you can join, and you can just message me if you want to do that, or you can just type in Endoflex Challenge Facebook group. You'll get a challenge tracker, which is 14 days, and you can just mark how you're feeling each day, and you can see how the products are benefiting you. It's real easy to just order the products. We can talk about that a little later and experience your own difference. And if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, this is a great budget-friendly way to get started now and to move closer to a healthier you. The challenge that the community is doing, several across the nation are doing, starts September 14th, but you can start anytime because it's like just 2 weeks. You just need to get your products and get your supplies, and you can get going. So let me just tell you what's the best way to get the best deal. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, okay, you can start supporting your endocrine system now and just move towards a better health. Start removing toxic chemicals, okay? Start getting rid of the endocrine disruptors, okay? Step into your nutrition, get more nutrient-dense foods. Remember the G-bombs. Support your wellness with supplements and essential oils, and give that 14-day Endoflex challenge a try, okay? You can get started so quickly if you're not already have an account with Young Living, go to naturallynozella.com, click on shop, or I'll give you a QR code where you can just flash it with your phone, and you can get any of the products that we talked about today or any other ones that are unique for you. And I just want to make sure that you know you can unlock the 24% discount either by ordering 100 PV. You can get the discount for 12 months or anything else that you order. Or if you put any item on the monthly loyalty rewards, you unlock the 24% discount that way, and you'll get be able to get a little something every month to help you move toward that healthier you. Here's that QR code that I said you can quickly take a picture of if you want to go and look more at what we've talked about today. I am so excited to have you join with me. And I really encourage you to join us for our 14-day EndoFlex challenge. I want to thank you again for being with me. It's my prayer that you no longer are saying you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, but you're actually taking control of your health, and you're starting with at least one of the tips that we talked about today that's going to help you move closer to a healthier you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone. And thank you again for being with me.